In the heart of Scotland's capital, in one of its grandest squares, you could walk by oblivious to the figure 40 metres above ground. Towering over the city he called home, the late 18th century Tory, whose commemoration here for some is truly contentious.
This guy played a key role in some of the worst parts of Scottish history in the last 200 years.
To not tell people what, in fact, this man is infamous for is completely unacceptable.
The controversy lies not so much in the statue, but in the plaque at its foot. One crucial fact is absent. Henry Dundas, as Home Secretary, was the man who delayed the abolition of the slave trade by 15 long years. In Edinburgh, and more widely, Henry Dundas left his mark. As the British Empire grew rich from slave-produced tobacco and sugar, he was at its centre. And as Secretary of State with responsibility for the colonies, made a call, says Sir Geoff Palmer, whose own ancestors were enslaved, which changed the course of history.
In 1792, he decided to challenge William Wilberforce, who was trying to get, with others, trying to get the slave trade abolished. And Henry Dundas inserted the word gradual into the whole debate and got it carried. That delayed the abolition of the slave trade from 1792 to 1807, it's 15 years.
It was one word from Henry Dundas that had thousands of devastating consequences.
It's about 630,000 who were taken into slavery, who would not have been taken into slavery if Dundas hadn't said slavery had to be gradually abolished. And the fact that that's not on the present plaque is shameful.
This enormous statue right at the heart of Edinburgh, but we never really talk about who he is. I looked it up, and I was pretty horrified with what I found.
Adam Ramsey went from indifferent to incensed by the Dundas statue. So, he made a new plaque.
The plaque said, Henry Dundas, Bright Viscount Melville, which was his title, the great tyrant, which is how people in Scotland knew him at the time. It said that because of him, the slave trade wasn't abolished for an extra 15 years. The plaque only stayed there for a few moments, I'm afraid. Some council official came by very fast and took it down.
The row has prompted Edinburgh Council to consider changing the wording. Adam and Sir Geoff were invited to join a new plaque panel, along with this man.
I am the 10th Viscount Melville and the descendant of the 1st Viscount Melville, Henry Dundas.
He has his own ideas about what the plaque might say.
It's difficult to hear certain things, decisions or bad decisions, seemingly that he decided to take. But I also think, whilst maybe it doesn't totally balance out, that he also did a lot of good. I don't think the evil dictator with total control was quite the image that people had when they named streets and drew portraits and put up statues.
Is just choosing a tiny minor incident and saying to the public, this is what you need to know about Dundas, and I don't think that's true.
Michael Fry is a columnist and Dundas biographer who will also have his say on the revised inscription.
He judged the right and wise thing to do was just to damp down the whole business so that nobody got too excited about it. That was his purpose, because there was no point in having an economy which had previously been based on slavery collapse. That would have served nobody's interest at all.
What about the interest of the slaves, who would otherwise have been free? That remains missing from public view. After many drafts and redrafts, the panel can't seem to agree.
Personally, I believe that he did it gradually to make sure that there was no rebellions or uprisings or any to make a smoother transition as possible.
The Scottish people are big enough to take their history. And they're big enough to be told that a Scottish historical person behaved badly. We're not a nation of covering up what we do. We're a nation of trying to look at something in the past which isn't right and to try to put it right.
Edinburgh Council wants new words for the plaque by September, as Henry Dundas proved in sealing the fate of thousands in captivity. We may be judged in future by our actions today.